The Genie in the Glass by the brothers Grimm. A man paid for his son to study, and after the boy had successfully attended a few schools, the father couldn't support him anymore. So he told him to come home and said, "You know that I've run out of money. I can't give you any more." "Dear father," the son said, "don't worry. If that's the way it is, I'll stay and travel with you and earn some money from carpentry." Indeed, the father was a day labourer and earned his living as a carpenter. "My son," the father said, "that will be difficult for you, because I have only one axe and I can't buy one for you." "Well," the son answered, "go to our neighbour and ask him to lend you one." So the father borrowed an axe for his son, and they went into the forest to work. After they had worked until noon, the father said, "Now we'll rest a bit and eat our lunch. Then we'll be refreshed when we return to our work." The student took his lunch in his hand and said to his father that he wanted to go around and search for birds' nests. "Don't be foolish," the father said. "Why do you want to run around in the forest like that? Stay with me. Otherwise you'll get tired and won't be able to do as much work anymore." However, the son walked about in the forest, ate his bread, and looked for birds' nests. When he came to a large, dangerous oak tree, he searched all around. All of a sudden he heard a voice coming from the roots of the tree. It was crying out in quite a muffled tone, "Let me out! Let me out!" He listened for it and called, "Where are you?" Once again the voice cried, "Let me out! Let me out!" "Yes, but I don't see you," the student said. "Where are you?" "I'm over here in the roots of the tree." So the student began to search and found a glass bottle in the hollow of the tree. The voice was coming from there. When he held the bottle against the light, he could see a shape in it like a frog, and the shape cried out, "Pull the cork out!" The student did this, and as he pulled out the cork, an enormous man came out and said, "Do you know what reward you've earned by letting me out?" "No," the student said. "Well then, I'll tell you. I must break your neck for doing this." "No, you can't do this to me," the student answered. "You should have told me sooner, then I wouldn't have let you out. We've got to ask more people about this before you do anything." "Forget about more people. You must receive the reward you deserve. Do you think people had pity on me when I was stuck in the bottle? No, they were punishing me. Do you know what my name is?" "No," the student replied. I don't know." "I'm the all-powerful Mercurius," the genie said. "I've got to break your neck." "No, that's not the right way to go about things," the student said. "Take it easy. First you must prove whether you can get back into the bottle, otherwise I won't believe that you ever came out of it. When I see that, I'll surrender to you and be your prisoner." The genie agreed and returned through the opening and down the neck of the bottle. As soon as he was inside, the student took the cork that he had pulled out and shoved it back into the top. He had easily duped the genie, and now the genie pleaded with the student to let him out and set him free. "No," said the student, "I can't free anyone who seeks to put an end to my life, and I'll never ever let you out again." "I'll give you as much money as you'll need for the rest of your life," the genie replied. "You don't need to deceive me like you did the first time," the student said. "No," stated the genie. "I won't do anything to you." The student was eventually persuaded by the genie, and he pulled the cork out again. After the genie climbed out, he said, "Now I'll reward you. Here is a special bandage made of plaster. If you rub this on a wound with one end, the wound will be healed, and if you rub it on steel or iron with the other end, it will be turned into silver." The student wanted to try out the bandage right away. He made a tiny scratch on a tree and rubbed it with the bandage. All at once it was healed, so the student thanked the genie, and the genie thanked the student for releasing him from the bottle, and they took leave of one another. The student returned to his father, who had resumed working and scolding his son for staying away so long. "Didn't I say that you'd do nothing?" "I'll make up for it," the student replied. Well, said the father, there's no way to make up for lost time. Father, what do you want me to do first? Chop down that tree. So the student took out his plaster and rubbed his axe with it. After he had struck the tree 2 times, the axe was worn down and the blade was no longer sharp enough because it was entirely made of silver. Look, father, said the son, what kind of axe did you give me? It's now completely bent. Oh, what have you done now? The father said, and had become even angrier. Now I'll have to pay for the axe. Your help will be my undoing. Don't be angry, father, said the son. I'll certainly pay for the axe. Yes, you numbskull, how are you going to pay for it? You have nothing but what I gave you. Your head's full of hazy ideas from studying. You don't understand the first thing about using an axe. The son wanted to persuade his father to call it a day. However, the student wouldn't leave him in peace and said he wouldn't go home until his father came with him. The son took the axe with him, and the father, who was an old man, couldn't see that it had become silver. When they reached home, the father said, Now see if you can sell that axe somewhere. So the student took the axe, brought it to a goldsmith in the city, and asked him how much he'd pay for it. As soon as the goldsmith saw the axe, he said that he wasn't rich enough to pay for it, and didn't have enough money on hand. The student told him to give him whatever he had, and he would wait until the goldsmith could borrow more money to pay for it. So the goldsmith gave him 300 gold coins, and the student borrowed another 100. Then the student went home with his money to his father and said, I've got money, so now go to the neighbour and ask him how much he wants for the axe. I already know, the father said. He wants a gold coin and a penny. Well then, the student replied, give him 2 gold coins and 12 pennies. That's more than double what he wants, and it's enough. Then the student gave his father 100 gold coins and declared that he'd never want for money, and told him the entire story of what had happened. Meanwhile, the student took the other 300 gold coins and went to finish his studies. Afterwards, he could heal all kinds of wounds and became the most famous doctor in the world. Thanks for listening.